thank you everyone for joining today. I think today's meeting coffee chat is going to be really colorful. Ha ha.
Yeah.
But I think I'm really happy to see the response we got, and I'm excited because it is one area I have no idea about. So I'm going to let Angela introduce herself and tell you about what she does, and let her take it from there. So thank you for joining us today, Angela. We appreciate you being here so much.
Yay, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. I'm so excited to talk about this with everybody. So I was thinking I could have completely fooled you, Judy. I was like, sure, I know about color. No, I'm just joking.
Payback.
Actually, before I start, just curious, like a show of hands, how many people understand or know anything about color psychology and color therapy? Sandra does. Great. Anne does. Okay, everyone else is kind of like, maybe so, maybe not. Okay, no worries. So this will be
Yeah.
exciting. And then for Sandra and Anne, I'd love to know at the end if you learned anything new. So I'm thrilled to be a part of this. So thanks so much, Judy and Dave, for having me. And, in a nutshell, I'll give you a little rundown. I have been with my own company called Heaven and Earth for almost 26 years. So I'm telling you how old I am, kind of, sort of. But for almost 26 years, it'll be 26 years in June. I really narrowed down my niche in personal development to focus in on how color affects our thoughts and feelings. And honestly, I found this topic so exciting in personal development because I find personal development can be a lot of work. I call it soul work instead of homework. And I wanted to create ways of people to dive into personal development as well. I'm going to say marketing, but I'll talk about that in a second. In an easy, fun way, because I still remember the first crayon I picked up out of the crayon box when I was a kid. I loved to do chalk drawing. I always liked to wear colorful clothes. So it was very interesting for me to learn and develop and grow through color psychology. Now, marketing is my actual background. It's what I went to school for. And when you're self-employed, you are always marketing yourself. I still do marketing consulting. And I also love how color and color psychology goes into branding, as well as marketing, advertising, everything. So I teach in both areas. When I teach in the marketing side, I actually call it holistic marketing with WHOLE for whole, because I take a look at the full body picture of you and your business and your products and service. And then when it's in personal development, it's how do we detox your thoughts? How do we change thoughts and feelings so that you can move forward and find more health and wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? So that kind of makes sense to everyone. It's a big topic. So with that being said, I'm thrilled to be here because I have written a book. It came out in 2014. I'm in the process of developing my coloring book, and my brand is Live Life Colorfully. So you can find me pretty much on all platforms under Live Life Colorfully, spelled the Canadian way. I want to give a little rundown first, kind of about what color is and how it changes thoughts and feelings, because I noticed a lot of the questions, which I've printed them all out, I have on my sheet of paper. A lot of them can come back to that. So I think what I can do is if I give everybody a little rundown, they will understand how to move forward right away with some color. Now, this is being recorded, which is awesome. If you want to take a pen and paper and jot notes, please do. I'll be interested to see what your favorite color and least favorite color is, because that will also tell you a lot about yourself. But since we have only so much time, because I could talk for hours on the topic, let's start with simplicity. So we're going to start with the 7 colors of the rainbow. It makes things easy. Now, when we deal in color psychology, it's actually been scientifically proven that color affects our health. And it goes back, it dates thousands of years ago. I mean, in Greece, they used to have buildings built with blue ceilings, glass ceilings, so that when the sun shone through the glass, you could lay on a table under that beautiful window and get infused with blue light because it was healing. And, to today, we use color all the time. So when people say to me, this seems kind of bogus or really like fluffy or new age, I'm always like, really? Okay, so why are fast food restaurants painted in red, orange, and yellow? Because it stimulates the mind or the appetite. It goes fast, in, out, let's go, eat, move. So you'll notice restaurants, if they're painted with blues, they usually don't succeed very well because blues are about suppressing the appetite. So let's take the Loblaws President's Choice. Have you noticed the blue menu is actually about portion control, suppresses the appetite. We're marketed to. They have used pink in prisons to calm aggression and for prisoners to find self love and self worth. We've used green in hospitals to relax the muscles and nervous system and to promote healing. So, color has been used for centuries. We use it all the time. It's definitely been used to market to you when you probably don't even realize. A lot of the times in the grocery store, red items are eye level because they're fast picking items. We also use color when we want to sell an item. You'll see reds used a lot because, again, it creates action. So, this is going to be fun. So, is everyone kind of on board with me right now? Yeah? Okay. Is everyone excited? Yay. Okay, good. So now you're going to go grocery shopping and go, damn, I see what they're doing. And when you know this, and not only can you help your own body, because I call color food for the soul, you're also going to be able to raise the standards and beat competition out, because in a sense, you're going to be able to use it for your branding, for your marketing, for your book covers. It's phenomenal. And people will be influenced whether they actually know it or not. So part of what I have are color cards. I had a beautiful artist. I have my own jewelry line as well with colored infused gemstones. I'm wearing one right now. I don't know if you can see it. It's an angel pendant made by Stan Tate. And I have actually 9 different gemstones. This one is the white mother of pearl that I wore today. And his wife is an artist, and she made these beautiful color cards for me. And I love using them to teach. They all have messages on the back. So if you bought an angel pendant, you get a card. But this is what's really interesting, is that if I was to hold this up, there's going to be a color that jumps out at you. Can you see them all okay? So whether it's the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, indigo, or violet, there's going to be one that you say right away, oh, my eye is so attracted to this. Can everyone pick one? And then from the top 7, you're going to say, that one just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, and put it in the chats. That's awesome. Because as we go through, you're going to start to maybe understand why it's your favorite or least favorite color. So in your mind, or write it down, put it in the chat, whatever you like. What's your favorite color? What's your least favorite color? Okay, now you're not allowed to say black on this one. We're going to talk about black later. I also do have pink and white, which we can talk about and we will talk about. But for right now, I just want the 7 colors. Has everybody got them?
Can you run through those colors again? What's the first one?
Yeah, so we're going to have, here, let me do it like this. This is more red. So we're going to say red,
Okay.
orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, which is the dark, deep purple, and violet. So favorite color, least favorite color. And then we're going to have fun with that later. But this is going to make some sense to you. Okay, I love how you're all putting stuff in the chat. This is awesome. Yay, and I just want to see. So it's interesting, right? Some people are like, yeah, I don't like yellow. Brown, we can talk about that. Red, 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 yellow. Awesome. Okay, perfect. So keep going in the chat, write it down, make sure you know. So we're going to go through, and then I'm going to show you my book. This is my book called Live Life Colorfully. And it's very, very simplistic. It's done with each chapter focused on a color. Now, this also relates, and I'm going to show you this picture, which I teach in the 7 chakras, which is very Hindu based. But if you know anything about the chakras, they're about spinning wheels of energy that we all have. Again, it's been scientifically proven that we have energy centers that have a frequency that happens to be the same frequency as a color. So whether you know it or not, we are walking rainbows. Now, should we have a thought or feeling that is negative, we have what I like to call a pebble, a stone, or a boulder that could be sitting in one of these areas and stop the flow of energy. So when I teach in my Detox Your Thoughts course, we get into each individual area and see, is this a stone, a pebble, a boulder? How big is this issue? Has it been something you've been dealing with for a really long period of time? Or is it something that's just like, this ticked me off, or this bothered me, or I'm sitting with some, guilt or resentment, or it could be something that's a day, or it could be something that's 20 years. So the longer you hold on to a thought or feeling, if you think of these energies as constantly flowing like a river, you know what happens when you add a stone, pebble, or boulder to a river, right? Sometimes it's just a little bloop, and then sometimes it's a hole, the whole river stopping. So when you get into color with personal development, even knowing your least favorite color usually will tell you where the biggest boulders are, which is kind of cool. So yes. All right. So with that, we're going to talk about the colors. So let's start with the basic color of red. And actually red and orange, the two of them, are physical based colors. So what I mean by that is it's going to create a physical response. It's also a color that will infuse yourself with physical energy. So let's say that you're run down, you're feeling like, especially right now, right? Like the weather's been, except for yesterday was nice, but we had some pretty crappy weather, and we're not feeling moving, we're not feeling too active. These colors will help. So red, I have a positive and a negative word for each. Red's positive word is passion. And this is about action and passion moving together, life force. This stimulates blood, bones, teeth, immune system. It gets you to create action in your life. Now, when it comes into something like writing a book or marketing, this is where you would want to see possibly personal trainers would use something like this. Doctors would use a red color. Paramedics, who's saving your life? Who's helping you with that? That's going to be a red infused marketing. Does that make sense? If you're putting an item on sale, it's in red because you want to create action. For you yourself, the red is going to infuse your immune system. So right now we're in COVID, and guess what? We need to keep our immune system strong. So you want to eat more red foods. You want to decorate with some more red around you. If you like to wear red, wear a red scarf, throw on some red socks. There's ways you can use red in so many different ways that will give you that burst of energy. Now, if you don't like red, the opposite word and thought that could be causing that pebble, stone, or boulder is fear. Because think of this. Red's about action, right? It's about moving forward. You're always taking action to go somewhere. Fear stops you in your tracks. So if you don't like red, take a look at, where am I fearful? Why am I not moving forward? Right? What is stopping me? Think of a stop sign. It's in red. What's stopping me from moving forward? If you're scared to write that next book, maybe you need to bring in some red in your life, or take a look at why the fear's there. Okay, do you see now kind of how I move forward with color? Okay, let me get through this so we have time to answer everything, because I'd be like, I could talk forever. Okay, next, physical color. So red's about the physical action. This is about actually physically creating. So orange is all about play. The key word for orange is joy. Think of a child between the ages of 5 and 12. If you're writing a children's book, you want to bring in some orange if it's about enjoying life as a child, because we didn't care about anything when we were kids. Hopefully it's, unless you're going through some kind of major stone, pebble, or boulder from trauma or upset, there could be a blockage. But really between the ages of 5 and 12, like, what are we doing? We're having fun, we're coloring, we're playing, we're hanging out with our friends, we're riding our bikes. It's all about experiencing joy. This is also about living in present moment. So how good are you at living in the now? This is the color. Now, if you don't like orange, or it's causing any trouble for you, it could be that you have high expectations, because expectations is the negative word for this. So if you wanted to get rid of high expectations, you want to bring in some more orange. And think, if you really went onto the golf course to have a fun game of golf, and you have an expectation that you are going to hit a 72, and the whole time that's all you're thinking about, and you don't think of anything else, are you enjoying the game? It takes away the joy. If you have a birthday and you expect that friend to send you a card and they don't, and you get so ticked off it wrecks your day, you just wrecked your joy. So it's about bringing in the fun, the play from a physical standpoint. Okay, so it's a color that we all need to work on a little bit, because I think we all usually are in the past or the future. So those are your two physical colors. Again, if you're doing a book or any form of marketing, because it's about play, I had a girlfriend, for example, who taught in improv. So she used orange in her branding. If you have anything that would create fun, humor, living in the now, playing, you want to bring in that color. Good. Next one. Am I boring anyone yet? No? Okay. All right. So then we have yellow. Yellow moves into the mental side of our energy. This is what stimulates our brain. Think of yellow Post-it notes. They are used for a reason. They were yellow first before they were any other color, because yellow helps your mind and your memory. Great if you're a forgetful person like me in menopause, use yellow Post-it notes. But yellow is actually all about courage. It's about self-empowerment. It focuses in on that confidence and that self-esteem to say, here's who I am and this is what I'm about. It also relates to the ages of 12 to 18. So if you're writing a teen book, think about when you're in teenage times. You're all about knowledge, about learning, about absorbing the world around you. You know, who am I? Finding the courage to look within and say, this is my authentic self. That's yellow. The opposite is judgment. So if you don't like yellow, it could be that you're either doing lots of judging or you're fearful of being judged. And yellow will help overcome that. Now, interestingly, the red, orange, and yellow are considered masculine-based colors. That being said, I don't recommend them for things like a bedroom, unless you're having maybe problems in the bedroom, but it would stimulate, correct? So you want to make sure that you're not painting walls yellow, unless you end up having like massive issues like Crohn's disease or ovarian cancer or leukemia. Okay, fine. Those are big issues, right? Then you can use something like that in the bedroom so you're infused. Otherwise, you want to keep these for high active areas, maybe even a basement where kids are playing, a bathroom to wake yourself up, you know, something like that, like even a warm blanket on the couch. But I wouldn't recommend them in a place that you want to find peace and relaxation. So those are your three colors. And again, if you've got a book or marketing that has to do in those areas, those are good colors for you. Any questions yet? I'm going to go to gallery just to make sure everyone's on board. So far, so good. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's move to the next one. There's two colors that sit into the emotional center, green and blue. So let's talk green first. Green is about the heart chakra. So it's all the center about balancing and about giving and receiving love. There's always a flow, right? In comes the love, out goes the love. It's this beautiful balance. Green helps us find balance in life, and balance isn't easy. You know, we're busy people. We can be parents, we can be CEOs, we can be self-employed. We're sisters, we're brothers, we're everything. This is the card that says, and the color that goes, think of nature. When you go for a walk in the forest, you find balance, you find zen, you find peace, because green actually calms the central nervous system and it helps all the muscles. And I highly recommend it for people in the healing arts, such as if you are a massage therapist, an osteopath, if you're working with the body to find a way to connect in with relaxation. It also taps into anything to do with healthy eating, finding balance in nutrition. So you'll see a lot of nutritional books with the green, obviously too, because there's tons of green food to eat. So nature tells us we need a lot of green. So balance is the key word for green. The opposite is guilt. So if you're suffering with a lot of guilt in your life, if you feel guilty you didn't send that birthday card, you feel guilty you didn't drive your mom to the mall, you feel guilty you didn't pick up the phone and call, guess what? You're hurting your heart chakra. And many of us have guilt. And it's not good for the whole heart and lung area. So here's another thing I'm just going to mention with COVID. Here we are with a lung virus. Guess another color that's going to be supportive. Green. Sheets, pillowcases, pajamas, walks in the woods, right? If you have a book that has to do about finding relaxation, finding peace, serenity, connecting to nature, working with healthy eating, like I said, nutrition, this is your color. Okay, sound good? So there's the green. The other emotional based color is blue. And blue is the world's most favorite color. When there's actually been a survey taken, I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's high. I think it's like 70 something percent of people in the world love blue. Now, why? It's the sky. It is the most calming color, the most serene color. It helps us overcome pain. So again, if you're writing a book or doing marketing around taking care of, you know, removing pain from your life, blue will calm. It helps migraine headaches. It's definitely the color of the ocean, about the waves coming, ebbing and flowing, just like our emotions are. It's all about cleansing. It's also about authenticity and voicing, because this is an energy center that sits right in here. So guess what I'm presenting today? Guess what color I wore? It was on purpose. You can do that. You can use these colors. If you're applying for a job, if you're like, again, writing the new book, if you're doing a presentation, I always wear the color that's associated. So blue's color is actually a positive word called truth. It's about voicing our truth. If you have trouble voicing your truth, or you're writing a book on how to voice your truth, there's your color. The opposite is excuses, because it's very easy for us to have excuses, right? If you show up late to work and you end up saying, oh my gosh, the traffic was so bad, you won't believe it, this guy cut in front of me, but really you stopped at Tim Hortons for a coffee, right? Or whatever it may be, truth is the key. I always like to ask for myself to speak with love and speak in a way they're going to understand and speak with truth in a beautiful way before I have to talk about anything or say there's a conflict arising, or whether it's in personal relationships or in a corporate world, it doesn't matter. Use the blue and it helps. Okay. So there's your emotional based colors, green and blue. The last two are the purples, the indigo and the violet. The way I like to describe this, which makes it really easy, is think of indigo as in. That's the center that sits in your third eye right here. And this is about inner peace, inner self, where violet is the outer. It's the top crown chakra that has to do with your highest power. So indigo helps you search within. It also helps you see the big picture. If you're really trying to look ahead and plan for the future, it's like a bird's eye view. So if you're working in any business, even in your own, and you're trying to find a strategic plan, you're trying to look at how does this lay out? What's this about? But also, what's it about for me? How does this relate to me? Does this bring me peace? The word for this is inner peace. What's going to stop you from finding inner peace is blame. Because it's very easy to point our finger. Well, you did this and you did that and you didn't do enough. And no. But there's three fingers pointing back, which means what's this about for me? So this color shows you that when you're triggered, it's really something you need to look at inside. Okay. I highly recommend this color when you're trying to, again, do any marketing or write a book, meditation, Reiki healing, anything, psychics, astrologers, numerologists. If you walk into a chapters and you take a look at the spiritual section of the books, you will notice the majority of them have the indigo and the violets. Okay, so inner peace and blame. So the next one, being the violet, is the top crown chakra, which is your highest power. It connects you to what I say, God, Allah, Jah, omnipresent, universal spirit, whatever it is for you, it doesn't matter. It's whatever you feel you get that beautiful energy coming in from, that's of love, that's your violet. It's a highly creative color. It's where we get those little, where the intuition comes in with the indigo. This is when you just feel compelled. You're ready to do something like, why do I feel so strongly? I have to do this. You're getting channeled. You're getting the information from above, right? This is your highest calling, your purpose. So again, if you're writing about soul purpose, maybe you're writing about passing over to the other side, someone who passes over, how to handle death. It's where miracles lie. It's a beautiful color to wear. So belief is the key word for the violet. It's all about having belief in something bigger. And the easy opposite is denial, because denial means I'm not going to believe. So as soon as you start saying, that's not true, I don't believe that, right? Or I don't believe you, or I don't believe your philosophy or your theories, well, then you're blocking your crown chakra. So with all that being said, there's a lot to know. But we've got ourselves with our passion, joy, courage, balance, truth, inner peace, and belief. The last one I'm going to touch on, because this is really important, is pink. Pink is about self-love and self-worth. And I mention it because there's many people who don't like pink. And I'm going to tell you the majority of them are women. So men, keep wearing those pink ties because I love it. Because the majority of women don't like the pink because it's our journey, our life lesson in general with everybody to learn self-love and self-worth. So again, great color if you're marketing anything in that area. If you want to get rid of codependency, unhealthy relationships, if you want to focus on getting rid of addictions, whatever your focus is, again, for your book and your marketing, pink says love yourself first. And obviously the opposite negative is just a lack of self-love, self-worth. But I want you to think of pink as like your angels and guides giving you a great big huge hug and surrounding you with this lovely energy that just says you are worth it. You matter, you are essential, and you are worth it. And when we all believe that, wouldn't life be a whole lot easier? Because when we believe that, there would be a lot less pebble stones and boulders. And that's our greatest journey to work on, is self-worth and self-love. So when you know the colors now, and you go back and you say to yourself, here was my favorite color, and here was my least favorite color. I don't know if we have time. Do we have time? I'd love to hear a few comments on how does this sit with you? And did you say, holy, like, aha, or,
Yeah,
where are you at?
definitely.
Let's hear a few comments.
Yeah, no, let's make the time.
Yeah,
That's a lot of info.
so I put yellow. You can go back on the chat and see that I put yellow.
Okay.
And in my book that released yesterday, every chapter is a different word. And I intentionally chose the first word as my favorite word, which was courage.
Woo!
So when you said that, I was just like, are you kidding me? Like,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
and there's 40 different words. And I was like, you know what? Courage. It just, and then when you were like yellow and self-empowerment and confidence, which is how I'm often described, I was like, wow.
Oh, girl, you got it. I'm so happy for you. And see, that just shows you your soul already knew what you needed and you listened. So congratulations, because you will know, your inner self will tell you what it is you need. And that's amazing. Okay, congratulations. Thanks for sharing. Okay, I guess I don't know, Judy, if you want to be the ringleader on this one and see who would like to comment next.
Yeah, I'm just watching to see. I'm gonna take, I think
mine was yellow too, and I felt the exact same way.
Oh, awesome.
I loved the yellow, and it's like very stimulating. I didn't pick a one that I didn't like, so I don't have that one. But
That's okay
I
too.
see how like each one definitely makes it makes sense. All of the colors, like, they make sense for the words that they agree with. And I think for book covers, this will be amazing,
I got a
especially with
funny feeling
marketing.
we're going to be redoing a lot of book covers.
yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I picked violet and then my least favorite was yellow.
Okay.
And it's funny though, as you were talking about it, I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I want to go to this color. And then I'm thinking, but then again, it's the indication of colors that I'm wearing too, right? So I'm just sitting here going, oh my God, I want all the colors stacked with it. There's no bad. I'm just going to start flipping. I'll just keep my wardrobe right next door and then just flip colors. That's the conversation.
I'm so glad you said that though too, Judy. And it's so imperative to know, just look around you. There's color everywhere. There's always color. It's not just about our clothes, right? So this comes through home decor, through the foods we eat. It actually has to do with walking in nature, the gardens we plant, right? There's so much with color. It doesn't have to be just clothing. So when somebody says, I love yellow, but it doesn't look good on me, don't wear it. That's okay. Like, find another way. Throw a beautiful cushion on your couch with yellow. Buy yourself some yellow flowers. Then you can actually learn even more about this and get into things like essential oils, because the scent of rosemary has the same frequency as the color yellow. So burn a rosemary candle. What can you do to create more yellow in your life than just wearing it? Because I know that was one of the questions. So that's, to touch on that. So thank you with that too.
Yeah, that's fantastic though. I never would have thought that, because I would have right away went to wearing, as I said.
Everybody
so the
does.
fact that it's, exactly.
Yeah. And don't be scared to paint a wall a color. It really, really enhances everybody's. And I'm sorry, but I work with the color marketing group out of the States, who actually picks the colors of the year, right? And I just worked on 2022's color of the year. And half of us want to say, would we please get rid of gray? Like, oh my goodness, there's too much gray. And gray is a trend right now, but gray is like a cloudy day. And if you want to bring a cloudy day into your home, go right ahead. But I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to feel as happy. You're not going to be as cheerful. Some people feel comfortable in gray, but I would really question what's happening and taking a look at what's going on internally, because we need to start moving away from that and having fun with things like home decor. And it's so simple. Like there's so many simple ways to bring in little bits of color, even if you don't wear tons of it. So.
Yeah, true. I saw Anne had a question.
Oh, yeah, we have to talk about white and black. I will too. Thank you.
Yes, I was just typing it. My new book, the cover is mainly greens and blues, but there's a ton of different colors. And so my question to you is, if someone's online or in a bookstore and they see almost like a rainbow of covers or just a big mixture, does that kind of trigger everything, or you go for the one that you have the most of in that color?
Awesome question. Thank you. Thank you. And that's perfect, because it also goes to one of the questions that we originally had, which was about, how do we look at color for branding and how do we move forward? So here's my suggestion. You can have multiple colors. Like I have multiple colors. I would be cautious though, as well. See, I'm teaching in color, so that's a different thing, depending on what your mission is and your values. So I teach a lot in core values and finding your 3 top core values. If you don't know how to do that, reach out. We can do a one-on-one session. But I teach a lot in that because those core values need to come through in your marketing, and they have to represent you as well, right?
Okay.
And so those core values can have colors. So for example, my core values, freedom, integrity, and authenticity. So my brand, I brought a little sticker. My brand, Live Life Colorfully. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I definitely have the turquoises and blues, which is about my authenticity, my speaking. I have the purples, which is that spiritual side of personal development that gets in as well to who I am, right? With just that little bit of red for respect. So you want to be really cautious with your branding and your colors, that you bring your core values across, and also the mission of what that is. So for example, if you're writing that book about something specific, like say the courage, right? We're talking with Rosalind. If we're bringing something like that in, you can have other colors, but you maybe want yellow to be prominent in whatever way, shape, or form. Like say you have a beautiful garden picture, but there's a giant flower and it's yellow, because what you're doing then is saying to that person going to pick up the book, this is going to be about a lot of things, but this is my number one. And this is what I stand for. Does that make sense, Anne? Yeah. So I usually say with brands as well, and branding and logos, try not to go over 3 colors. It's too much. It's too much. We don't want to say, like, we all need to take care of ourselves in every way, shape, and form, but you're not going to really get into your marketing niche and what you're trying to say, because this is a language. Color is a language, and you want to make sure that you're communicating it properly.
What about a salmon color, a mixture of red?
Well, then you got to think of what those colors mean, right? Because there's a multitude of colors. So you're right. You got a bit of the pink with the self-love, but you're grounding the self-love with the red, right? You're keeping your feet. Think of a tree with the roots. This is why I think of colors as well, like a tree. Think of the roots as the red. So you're grounding in self-love. So again, depends on what you're trying to bring across. Okay. I know it'll make you think of this in like a completely different way.
No, I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for the input. I appreciate it.
I saw Nancy ask the question, how does white in your home affect you? I don't necessarily, personally, I don't have white, but I do have a light grayish color.
Okay, so, it's all right. I won't hold it against you.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, let me touch base on white and black, because I know that was a color as well. There was somebody who talked about wearing black clothes. We talked about it before we went live. So let me talk about both. So black is no color, where white is all colors combined. So when you hold a prism in the window with the sun shining through it and the light shines through, that's when you get the rainbows. So white really is all colors combined, and white is divinity. White is the highest form of energy you can find. It's the color we use for protection. If you're ever worried about absorbing negative thoughts or feelings from others, if you're walking into a negative space, or if you're like an empath and you pick up people's emotions, just take a moment and ask for white light to surround you and envision that white light. It's a protection. So people will carry clear crystal quartz. They will burn incense that has to do with the white light. They'll do meditations around white light. I love wearing white. I think it's pure, it's innocence, it's considered virginity, which is why the wedding dress is white. It's all about keeping things clean. It's a clean slate. It's also affecting in the sense of I accept all. So the power of one. One is white. We are all one. So white is that beautiful color of divinity. Black now, I'm not against black per se, because black does show respect and it does show authority, which is why you'll see police officers wearing black. You'll see it at funerals, because black says it's not about me, it's about you, right? So if you're at a funeral and you wear black, that means don't come to me. This isn't about me, it's about them. We're respecting them. I worry about black when it comes into people's lives so much because it suppresses the emotions and it's really no life. So think of it as in you're not working through passion and joy and courage and all the beautiful colors and the positive attributes. You're actually saying, no, not me. So if you walk into a room and you see somebody all in black, how open are they with expressing themselves, with their emotions, with being able to communicate and exchange energy? It's an interesting thing to find. Now, if you find somebody in that little black dress, but they have really cool earrings or an amazing tie, if they're wearing a black suit, or, you know, maybe they've got a gorgeous scarf wrapped around their neck, that's different, because then what you're doing is saying, I'm approachable. You can come to me. It's all good. Right? So again, if you're in business, say you're going to do a book signing, don't wear all black, because you want people to come to you. You want them to engage with you, communicate with you, sign your book and buy your book. Don't wear black, because that says, no, it's not about me. And guess what? You're the author. It is about you. So you want to wear something a color, right? I even make sure I sign things in a color pen, because it's like, that's who I am. So you don't have to just use a blue pen. Have fun with it. If your book's about passion and moving forward and life force, sign in a red pen. Have fun with it. So this is where you can bring it in. So black, I'm cautious. Now, I'm a bit cautious again. Well, I am very cautious using it in home decor, unless it's in little bits, because little bits is okay. It could be very clean, right? It's very subtle. But again, if you have it in a dining room, that's where your socialization should be, or a living room, right? If you have it in a bedroom, you're kind of saying, no, thank you. I don't want to deal with anybody. So take a look at kind of where you have the black. And again, black, we were saying before this call, like it's always been like, wear the little black dress. You're going to look skinnier. You're going to look more trendy. Yeah, well, fine. And make sure you bring in color in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through a purse, like I said, a pair of shoes, something. If you take a look at when Biden got in as president, did you notice all the women wore solid color dresses? And they were, Joe Biden's wife wore blue, and Michelle Obama, who I've got to think who all the people were now, but they all wore violets, shades of violets. Even Lady Gaga, who sang the anthem, was a solid color with red. Like, it's just like that was all planned. It's all planned. If they all walked up with black, how approachable would you feel that they would be? How much would you trust in them moving forward? Something to think about. So that's the black and the white. So white, divinity, innocence, purity. Black, respect and authority, but suppresses the emotions and stops the communication flow. Oh, the young port wore yellow. Yes, she did. And look at her age. She was a young woman who was so intellectual and spoke with such clarity, and her strength that you could feel her power and her power center. I got goosebumps and shivers when I heard her spoken word, right? She wore yellow. It was perfect. You're welcome, Ursula. So I'm just trying to think, what haven't I gone over? Let's see.
And same, what about brown?
Oh, brown, thank you. So brown is the color of the earth. It's grounding. Think of, again, roots of a tree. I don't recommend it a whole lot when you're engaging in others, because it's considered to be a very quiet, kind of boring color. It's a color, though, that if you really wanted to say, get your feet in the ground, like pull yourself down and lock in, then you can go for the browns for sure. And I mean, walking barefoot in the mud can be very grounding if you feel that you've been kind of in your top chakras. I don't use it a whole lot, though, when it comes to branding and marketing, to be honest. Yeah. You're welcome. I'm just looking. If you got another one, Judy, let me know. I'm also just looking to see. We talked, I'm going through just to make sure. I think I actually answered. I think I answered the questions that came through ahead of time, which is fun because then I can open it up to the floor. And what am I missing? Oh, I can show you a couple of fun things. I brought some extra fun stuff. Here's
Oh,
other ways I bring in color. Props. Somebody gave me a birthday card and it was a coloring card. So I started to color it in. I have a membership group called the Colorful Creators Community. We work in personal development and we meet every Wednesday. And one of the things I do is I give away free prizes. And one of my free prizes is a whole bunch of colorful markers. And it's amazing because you can have fun with them. So if you're feeling like you just need to quieten the mind, get centered, see which crayon or marker you pull out of the box first. That'll tell you a whole lot. My first one on this time was pink. It was my birthday card and I was feeling a whole lot of self-love and self-worth and I went for pink and started coloring. So you can have fun with that. I do have a coloring book that's coming out. I'm working with an amazing artist. Here's one of the pages and I just printed it out and started to color. That actually took a long time to do. And I haven't even finished the page yet, but it's so meditative and you're getting yourself infused with color at the same time, right? That you're sitting there doing it. So the colors you choose and why you choose them can be so pertinent. If you can take a coloring page like this and choose only 3 colors, you'll be amazed at how the colors look. So I brought those just to show you another great way to do color. And we're adults. We don't have to stop playing. It's great for that orange sacral chakra, right? Play, color. If you're going to send thank you cards, birthday cards, here's a colorful one. Imagine getting that in the mail. Isn't that like tons of fun? Mm-hmm. So one of my clients, one of the things we did is in order to really recognize the value of all their employees, we sent these thank you cards to all their employees. And what we did is we had people in the company say beautiful things about, why they loved working with a specific employee. And then I took all the comments, I used my color markers and each comment was in a different color so that when they opened the card, they had all these beautiful positive thoughts and feelings. Well, I was sweet enough that someone sent me one. So this is like, they sent me one with all the positive comments, which I loved. But a great way too, like imagine someone bought your book. Anytime someone buys my book, I send them a thank you card with color. It's simple, right? It's a simple way to bring in little bits of color. Again, you're using it. Maybe it's the colorful pen. You're sending it off. If it's the publishing company, hey, thanks for getting my book #1. You're setting it off. So have fun with it. But I wanted to bring you a couple things like that just to show you can use it in a lot of different ways. So
I think Lottie had a question next.
Yeah, please.
Hi, thank you. This is brilliant. I love colors. I love picturing.
Thanks, Lottie.
I wanted to ask because how does it with colors? I don't particularly like green in things in the house, but I love green when I'm outdoors. So I would eat salad, I would enjoy green stuff, and I love leaves and looking at the nature when I'm walking. But I just don't like colors. Like I wouldn't wear green necessarily unless one-offs. How would I then choose whether it's my color or not?
So again, it depends if you're talking about it just from clothing or just in general with your decor and such as well.
I think it's just clothing and decor as well, general. I wouldn't go for green stuff, but I love green in nature.
That's beautiful. So you are getting infused with it regardless, which is great. I would kind of just want to see then what your home represents and also get to know you better in a sense with your personality type on what do you represent. Now, here's the other interesting thing without getting too wild and confusing, but this could make sense to you. I also teach in color personalities and the 7 color personalities. So sometimes we avoid the color, not because there's a huge boulder there, but because we are that color. So if you, for example, are a green personality, you already are infused with that color. So it could be you don't need it as much. And then you only do need it when you need to kind of get back to who you are. Does that make sense?
That makes sense because I'm always outdoor and I'm missing outdoor now because of the COVID and not really being able to be in the mountains a lot.
Are you a huge giver? Do you give more than you receive?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So this is how I would know then, for example, you're a green personality. So you love the color and you use it when you need it, but you don't necessarily have to have it all the time because your attributes, who you are, your personality type, is vibrating on that green energy constantly. And that's getting to another level of what this whole conversation's about. But it's a fascinating topic too, because it helps us to see where we really resonate from and where we come from. So my feeling from you, and this could just be my intuition as well, is that you're green energy. So I wouldn't worry too much. I would just say for you that when you're not feeling yourself, when you don't feel like you're completely authentic, if you feel like you've lost a piece of yourself in some way, or go get green, bring it in, because then you'll be like, here's who I am. And then you'll feel good again. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Awesome. And this is where the self-discovery comes in. You can take a look at it and say, wow, am I suffering with some guilt? Do I have some things to work on? So that's why I don't want it too close to me in my home decor. But this is where, for just talking, I feel like you're a personality type. So
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks
that's
a
a
lot.
beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. I will say to you, since green's the center, don't forget for you then, because of your personality, to bring in lots of reds and oranges, and also connect with the top purples, because you're so in this center, right? We want to do this. And for green personality, just a fast thing, their biggest lesson in this lifetime is self-worth, self-love. So it's about you learning how to receive.
Oh, brilliant. I love purple. Purple is my color. So
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a strange question for you.
Never strange.
So what if I don't like a lot of colorful colors?
You're
Like
so
my
messed up. No, I'm just joking.
it's all like beige and like black, gray. So sort of like muted colors. I don't like a lot of colorful things, except like maybe like a light pink, and that's about it.
That's
So
about it.
what do you think it says about my personality?
Okay, so are you talking again when you're bringing into clothing and home decor, or are you talking, okay, so a couple things. I would want you to go through and see if you've got those pebbles, stones, or boulders and what it is that you need to work on, because it could be that there's thoughts or feelings holding you back from embracing those colors. If you like the muted side, this is where, for example, when we have babies and we have baby showers, if you've ever noticed, they're light colors, right? We don't go with like reds and oranges and, we go with light blues or light pinks and purples and light yellows, because their energy is sensitive. So one thing I would say to you is, do you find you pick up energies from other people? Are you an empath?
Yes.
Right. So because that happens, you are picking up so many energies that you need to have yourself in such a calm, I almost want to say dull space, if that makes sense. So it would be almost too overpowering for you to have too much color, because you're already picking it up from everyone else. So my suggestion for you, work with white, because white is going to be not only divine and from the highest, but it's going to protect you so that you don't absorb everybody else's energy. And then you can also work on your own, and start with the muted soft colors for yourself and just slowly get into them. But I sense from you that you pick up everybody's energy. So it's easier for you to go home and have nothing than to try to have something, because you've already been giving, and it's like little lightning bolts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And start slow. And if you need to, I usually say start with the greens and the blues, because they're the most soothing, calming colors. And just again, start with the blanket on the couch, right? Or under the pillow, or pajamas, because you're absorbing that color even in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I hope that helps.
No,
And even people with vision impairments can feel color. Like, this isn't something you have to see. You can use pillow or pajamas, pillowcases, sheets, and be in that color for 6 to 8 hours and absorb that color and not have to see it, because it has a frequency, it has a vibration, and that vibration's there whether you can see it or not. So it's been tested with blind people who can actually put their hands over top of a piece of felt and feel the warmth and the low vibrations of a red up to the fast, cool vibrations of a purple. It's powerful. You don't always have to see it. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I see some
Can I just
comments
say one
coming.
thing?
Yeah, for sure.
I just wanted to thank Judy, because when I didn't think I chose a color for the book, but you guys put blue and it talks about my truth. So I thought that was so cool. I'm like, I didn't know.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It is
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
That is cool. That is cool, but I can't take the credit, but I can take the team credit because I have an incredible team. So yeah,
And it
that's
can be
awesome.
intuitive. They might have just
Yeah.
even known intuitively as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank-
Have I bombarded you all with so much information? Now you're going to be like, oh my
The-
God, I got to change my book cover.
Exactly. Well, I like some of the comments coming in. Nancy said something about one of the ways to get green in your house is through plants or flowers.
Yes.
And I thought, that's a great idea, actually. And then Rosalind asked what the color is for 2021. Is it gray?
You know, isn't this terrible? I have to remember because I'm part of them every year and we go ahead years. And I know I'm in 2021, so I should be able to say it because we actually have to take like this little vow of not saying anything. But if I'm not mistaken, it was a paper bag brown. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
You know, you want me to tell you really interestingly, I didn't know this until I got developing with the color marketing group, is that there's a whole process to get these colors. And what happens is it's a global initiative and involvement where every single section around the world looks at what is happening politically, environmentally, with trends. Like, it's not just like, oh, let's pick a color of the year. They look at everything and then they narrow it down until like, and it's like a huge amount of time spent to get to this one color that everybody agrees on. So for North America, I remember when I worked with it, it was like a paper bag brown. And it was because of everything that was happening in the world. That was before COVID. We chose that. I can't remember now if it was, I just was there for was it 2022 or 2023? But anyway, point being is that is a color that represents everything happening in the world at the time on all levels. So it's quite a feat to get the color of the year. There's a lot that goes into it.
That's cool.
However, it's not necessarily what you need, right? Or what your clients need or want to see. So it could be an overall color that represents what's happening, but that doesn't mean that's what's going on with you. So don't feel like you have to use it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Ursula asked what about the color gold?
Gold and silver. Gold and silver are like further up the chain than white. So if you think of the 7 colors, then you've got pink, then you have the divine white. Let's go even further with the silver and the gold. So you're looking at divinity in a whole other place. This is why it comes into Christmas, right? Because it's all about that spirituality with that connection to what Christmas is truly about. So without going into, again, too many confusing realms, it's like the highest of the highest. You know, and that's something, just thinking Christmas, if you take a look at all of the holidays, the colors are meant for a reason. Halloween, orange and black. Why? Playfulness, but mystery, right? And it's about the unknown. There's your orange and black. If you look at Easter, we see a lot of violet, soft violet. Guess what? There's your connection to God, Allah, Jah, Krishna, right? The divine. If you look at Valentine's Day, we have a lot of red. And we actually have red, white, pink, and black, which are big for Valentine's. Red's passion, right? Pink is love, white is innocence, and black is that mystery. So Valentine's Day has the colors. Christmas, we got the red and the green. You've got red, which is the blood of Christ. You've got connection with family through the red, the bone, you know, the whole roots. You've got green, about the balance of giving and receiving and sharing love. There's your red and green. What else am I missing? There's colors always meant for each holiday. And again, you've been marketed to for years, for years, and didn't know it. But now you know it.
That's what's amazing, though. Like you think of the Valentine's Day, but you kind of, that one's probably the most aware, the most common that we knew. But it's incredible because, like you said, you don't realize that all these colors align to the season, to a holiday. That's pretty amazing.
It is.
I have a funny feeling we could be talking for hours.
I had no idea there was so much behind this, behind colors. Who thinks of it, right? But wow.
Well, Angela does.
Angela does. Yeah.
And part of my joy is teaching this because I find it fascinating and fun. Like it's so much fun because, whether Rosalind, you picked that beautiful top today and it has the pink in it, and if I take a look at, let's
have
see, Sandra,
white.
you got, what is that, blue or indigo? It looks a little bit like indigo. I'm looking at Sandra's shirt. Yeah. I always find it interesting. With Judy, you've got red on today. Sometimes that can just tell you where that person's at for the day. There's so much to learn by it, but I find it amazing and I love it. And it's an easy way to focus in on what you need to work on.
Wow.
It's a great way to understand your clients and your database. Once you learn about personality types, it's even deeper. So I do recommend if we hope you don't mind if I self-promote for a second, but
No.
one of the best things I did was this year I created that membership group, and right now I've got it at $25 a month, which is a steal. It's going to go up in June because it was to celebrate my 25th anniversary. But we already did the whole Detox Your Thoughts course, the whole personality course. Now we're working into deep personal development stuff. And we keep working in the different chakra areas. And so one Wednesday I send out information and the next Wednesday we meet on Zoom. So it's a great way to dive into all this information and to have a community to share it with. But I mean, if you need help, I definitely do one-on-ones. I do seminars, a lot of professional speaking. I've got, information, the books. I've got my own jewelry line. If you felt like you really needed, pink for self-love, you can buy one of these with the rose quartz. There's so many things you can do with it. And I'm always thrilled to be here. And again, Live Life Colorfully on Instagram, Facebook. I think it's just Angela Dacey under LinkedIn and Twitter, but everything else is Live Life Colorfully.
Live Life Colorfully. It's, I can't remember.
I'd show you my business card.
The U.
I should have showed you my business card. It's way over there though. But
there you are. There goes Jenna. She got you.
Thanks.
That's
I
it.
appreciate it.
It's to remember the Canadian spelling.
Well, and here's an interesting thing. The American spelling, this is where, as a marketer, I kind of hit myself sometimes, but don't beat yourself up.
Oh, but this is something everybody can learn from.
I should have grabbed the American domain, but I end up following this amazing artist named Jason Naylor, who works out of New York. He does murals, and he has a big Live Life Colorfully mural in New York. So I started following him, connecting with him. This is the benefit of social media. And he just came out with a Live Life Colorfully book. But he got my book and I got his book, and you'll see it on my Instagram feed. We both promoted each other's because his is with the American spelling and mine's with the Canadian. So it's good. I'm just thrilled people are starting to see color in a new way, in a new light, and knowing that they could use it for health in all ways, shapes, and forms. And it's not new. It's not new. It's been around for centuries. And, even the places you want to travel tell you a lot about what color you need.
Oh,
that's another
and
aspect.
probably what you put in the suitcase. I don't think people realize how much we select color based on what's going on in our life. And it's like packing a suitcase, or like you said, I went into the closet this morning and for some reason I was drawn to the red, red and black shirt, that type of thing. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Even like Liz talking about her book cover, it's whether our designer knew enough intuitively. I think there's a lot there that she probably does know a lot about it, but whether she specifically chose the color because of that, I'm not sure. I think it's more intuitive, I find, with our designer. But that's fantastic. I think everybody should go check out your website and sign up and find out more. And Angela, it has been incredible. I'm not sure if anyone else has any other questions before we sign off, because I see it's the top of the hour now.
Yeah,
but
I'm getting back to people at the same time.
Perfect. Because this has been incredible, and we'd be happy to go and write to everybody here and give your website and let them know how to find you. So
thank you.
Yeah, we so appreciate this. I think we only touched on it today.
Yeah,
I'm surprised how well it fits in, how much it fits into things like the branding and the book covers and such. Wow.
It is amazing.
And it's funny because I'm sitting here as you were talking, I'm thinking we've had our colors for years, but I thought man, do I go and change the colors? And if you need to, you need to, because the other thing too is the business and the individuals, the team grows. So
Mhm.
there is a time where we may need to shift colors within our own brands because we're in a different area of our life.
For sure. And my key to that though is really know your values first. And again, if you don't, let me know, and I've got a great exercise to get you to that place.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I just taught it actually in
Excellent.
York Region Small Business Center yesterday. So I teach a lot on core values so that you're not just pulling them out of the air. You really are honing in on what you need to market yourself properly. And that's important, you know. And again, you want to be on, if you're doing books and you want to be on that bookshelf, you want your book to give that vibe and send out that message and that language of what it's about. And I also suggest just be aware of what attracts you. Like go into chapters and walk around and see, you know, what colors on the shelf are grabbing you. Does that one work for you? Does it not? Why? Now you have a
Yeah.
reason to look at it from a completely new perspective and start to understand how it's affected.
A lot of our authors are entrepreneurs, and they do have their businesses behind the books and such. And so this is so pertinent to their mission as well, and their core values and their business, where they're going with their minds and their businesses and their books and everything. Yeah.
You
Oh,
know
I love
what
it.
though I found is really, really, and everybody's on the call, is really incredible though and consistent, is that almost all the covers are more muted colors than they are. Like I've only had in all of my time, like maybe a children's book, but I'm thinking of adult books, one red book cover. And it actually was probably the most successful book I have ever worked on.
Oh, wow.
Just if anyone's listening, but I'll tell you, I don't know of any yellow book covers. Like I'm sitting here looking behind me. They're all either dark or muted.
And you know, something to mention is the tones are kind of up to you, right? If you go into a paint store, you know how many purples you can find, right? Or how many greens you can find. So my green that attracts me might be different than your green, but that's okay. Right? It's going to attract. You don't have to just do primary colors, or, you know, find the shade that works for you. That's great. But that's interesting you say that, Judy, because then I would be interested to see if you did know this now and how you shifted it, how would sales be?
Yeah, exactly. I know we're going to be talking, Angela. Because I was just thinking that, and our colors are more like orange, red, and I would call it gold. I know.
And why did you choose them? Do you know why?
Actually, it feels like it was chosen for me. Like my web designer created those colors 100 years ago, and that's what I said. Is it time to shift the colors? And if it is, it is. But that's the colors. We've been using those three. I think the red has become more dominant over time, but orange has been with me forever. And I've always thought, why orange? But it's kind of stuck.
Well,
so it's like,
now you can look at it from a completely new perspective and see if it fits you and the company's values and the people you have working with you. And that's something you can have a staff meeting as well, right? And to talk about kind of where's everyone at, what are their
Angela might have to join that staff meeting.
We can talk for sure. But yeah,
absolutely.
It's like I said, your brain's going to go crazy now, but in a fun way. And you know, have fun when you're shopping, have fun in the malls, have fun looking around, you know, have fun looking at what color car you just chose, you know, whatever it may be, you'll see it from a completely new perspective now. And don't be scared of color, you know, use it. It's an amazing tool, you know, so whether you paint that wall, throw that cushion on, wear those pajamas, you know, whatever it may be, have some fun with it. And then you'll really start to experiment and say, how do I feel with this? Is this making me like want to run into the next place? Am I wanting to just like hug it? Like you'll get a sense. It's really quite interesting. And when you start taking a look at everything around you, I mean, there's color everywhere around you. We are surrounded. It's actually one of the greatest gifts I think that we have. And it influences us every single day. So yeah, have fun with it. And then Aisha, we'll talk about you being an empath. I know you want more information on that. I will, you know, and she was asking me in the sense like, well, how did you know I'm an empath? I usually say when you clear your I say shit. When you clear your shit, you clear your channels. The more you remove negative thoughts and feelings, the more you really focus on healing, the clearer your intuition and your connection comes. So I usually sense and pick up a lot from people. But yeah, if you need me, reach out. Angela@livelifecolorfully.com. Feel free to reach out.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again. Today has been incredible. I've
I
loved
loved it.
every second of
Awesome,
it.
yes.
Yeah, I know we're going to
Thank
be
you.
arranging to have you join a team meeting soon. So,
Aw,
and
thanks, everyone.
anyone on the call, just let us know if you didn't get anything. Angela's contact, you need her website.
You want my book?
Happy to. Yeah, you want her book? It's on Amazon. But
Is it-
remember the spelling.
Remember the spelling. I do need to hire Hasmark to bump it up because I've never done anything with it, to be honest.
Yeah, we need to market it, so we'll do
It's
an
been a-
exchange.
Yeah, it's been a good promotional tool, but time to go somewhere with it for sure because I love teaching this. But yeah, I love it. And thank you so much for having
We
me.
can
It's
tell.
been an honor. So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. And I hope everyone has a colorful day and much, much success with all your books and in your life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela. Have an
Awesome.
amazing
Thank
day.
you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye. Auf Wiedersehen.